Welcome to the great outdoors.
It's the great outdoors.
Fine Saturday here in Columbus, Ohio.
Just a classic Ohio winter.
Yeah, 50 degrees, sunny, what? We have a video we've been meaning to do for a long time. We are finally going to give you an in-depth review of the Dream Hammock Darien. We got this hammock back in October of 2018, and we've done about, I think, 11 or 12 nights in it.
No, you've done more than that.
I've done a lot of nights. I don't know. The whole Colorado trip was in it. I've taken it to Mohican twice. I've taken it to Dolly Sods. It's been used a lot. So we're gonna give you the specs, really dive into this hammock, and do a pretty thorough review of it. The Darien is made by a company called Dream Hammock, a local Ohio company.
Yeah.
Go Buckeyes.
And we've met them on multiple occasions.
And they, yeah, they're pretty cool. They've come to our Ohio YouTube meetups. They've let people tour the production center they have.
Yeah, it's really friendly company with, and they seem to be like really out there supporting the hammock community.
Yes.
So that's important to know.
Couldn't praise them more for that. They make a bunch of different styles of hammocks. They make like a danger bird. They make a sparrow. They make a
Raven.
A raven. I think probably their most popular one, or the one I see the most, is the Darien.
Yeah.
That's more of their ultralight one, I think.
I don't know.
Now shout out to my wife. She got me this hammock for my birthday last year. We have a war bonnet, we have a Dutchware, we just need a Dream Hammock added to the inventory. They make this
the Triforce.
The Triforce. The cool thing and a huge pro to Dream Hammock is, of all of the hammock manufacturers, the cottage ones, you can customize their hammocks the most. And we'll get to that, but that's a huge pro.
Yeah, when we look at the different manufacturers that we use, I mean, they're all fantastic, but I will say that is an excellent point. Dream Hammock seems to be the most customizable, yeah. Which can be a little overwhelming at some point.
Yes, and then that's why we do a video where we compare a lot of different hammocks, and for that reason, we might not necessarily recommend a highly customizable hammock as your first hammock if you don't really know what you want, but it is definitely a pro. Let's run through the specs really quick. So the base hammock starts at $100, which is pretty reasonable.
That's reasonable.
But the hammock you build is not gonna cost $100 because you're probably gonna add some stuff to it.
Yeah.
They offer a 10 or 11 foot option. They offer a regular or a wide as possible option, and we will get into that because that's the hammock I have. You can get a single or a double layer, like a lot of different hammocks. You can also, in line with the customization, you can pick what lay you want them to set the hammock up as, and that will modulate what side the zipper goes on, but you can pick if you want a head left or head right lay.
So they're asymmetrical?
Yeah.
Asymmetrical hammocks.
Yeah. And right now, on their website, you're looking at about a 6-week lead time. Now, they do have some off the shelf you can buy. 6 weeks isn't terrible, though.
No, I mean, with a lot of different cottage manufacturers, when you order, like quilts, for example, like there's always lead times with that stuff. And that's just the way the industry works. But that's actually, I consider a pro, because that means they're hand making your hammock. You
can also get the hammock body in a bunch of different colors, a bunch of different types of fabric. I got the Robic 1.1, I think is what it is. It's very ultra light hammock body material. So the hammock I'm showing you right now, that comes in without tree straps, about 17 ounces for a wide hammock, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then with the tree straps, I believe it's around 25 ounces. So it's mildly heavier than the Chameleon, but it's a wide hammock. And that's probably the difference in weight right there. Also, one thing, it probably adds to the weight a little bit, but I really like it, is it's got a really thick ridge line and really thick continuous loops on the end.
Oh.
Like much thicker than the war bonnet or the Dutchware hammocks, and I kind of like that. I don't know why I do. After, I don't know, 13, 14 nights of use, what do I like the most about this hammock? That is easy. It is wide. I never thought I would like a wide hammock. There is something about sleeping in this hammock, especially if you're on your side. The wide, it's just so wide. There's so much room for activities. I don't know. I never knew I would like a wide hammock. We're not like wide guys. We're tall, we're not like wide. But there's something about the wideness of it that really is comfortable. And it's only 17 ounces, so it's not adding that much weight to it.
No, and you know what's funny is now I've never slept a full night in this hammock, so I have zero experience with it besides just being the awesome model that always lays in it during the shoots. And it is, that wide is noticeably more comfortable just because of how roomy it is.
So yeah, it's weird. It does make a big difference. So if you're someone, even if you're a normal sized person, consider a wide, I think. I don't know, if you have the ability to lay in both, maybe do, but that was definitely the pro of this specific hammock, and what it's got over the other ones we own is the wideness of it.
Yeah.
It really, especially if you're a side sleeper, it just makes a big difference to me.
Yeah, and if like weight's not a concern for you,
right,
and maybe, you know, I could see the wide being a good advantage too, especially if you're using maybe a sleeping pad in it.
Yes,
like some people,
that's a good point.
Maybe that'd be a little easier to maneuver it, but yeah, it is noticeably more comfortable.
Yeah. Another thing I really like about this hammock is I really do like the Robic. It's either 1.0 or 1.1. I'll put it on the screen. I like that Robic fiber. It is very similar to the Hexon we have in the Dutchware hammocks. It's stretchy, more stretchy than like a Hexon 1.6 or something, a heavier fabric. I like a little bit of stretchiness in the hammock. Once again, if you're sleeping on your side, I think it's better to have a little bit more stretch so your shoulder doesn't like dig up into you. But I really like the Robic fiber it's made out of. I really like the wideness of it. I know it's weird, but I really like how big the ridgeline is and how thick it is. It's easy to hang stuff off of it. And I like the continuous loop system they've got on it. It really does work well. Another thing I really like is this, it's a weird thing, but the zippers are very fluid. The zippers zip, oh, it's a pristine zip. The Dutchware is not like that at first. You gotta work them in. The War Bonnet's okay, but it has really good zippers. So I know it's a weird thing, but it's just, when you're dealing with it, it's easy to zip it in and out.
No zipper pulls.
We're gonna get to the cons here. All right, now what don't I like about this hammock? The biggest surprise to me is I was really frustrated sometimes with not being able to zip on both sides of the hammock. When I took this thing to Colorado for 7 days, just the way, I know it's like a nitpicky thing, but the way it was set up, like I'd either have to walk around my hammock to put stuff into it, or let's say in the middle of the night if I got too hot or I needed to readjust my underquilt. With the Dutchware, I can zip on both sides, just zip and pull around and fiddle. With this one, I had to get out and fiddle. It was something I think I took for granted on the Dutchware, the ability to zip in both sides.
Well, you know what's interesting is on the original like Chameleon videos, we talk about how the dual-sided zippers wasn't a big deal.
No, and I couldn't have been more wrong about that.
I know. Just from like a pure laziness of like getting to camp and being able to like unpack your stuff and put it in your hammock.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to put it in from both sides.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Now, I do think Dream Hammock makes hammocks that you can zip on both sides.
You know, everything is customizable there.
Yeah, so I'm not going to hold that against Dream Hammock, but I did really miss the ability to zip on both sides. Not necessarily to get in and out of the hammock on both sides, although that would have been nice, but more so for tinkering with underquilts or tightening the tarp down or something. It was just, on the Dutch where you just zip it and put your arm out and get in there. So that was something I really missed. Andy brought this up earlier. It's just a stupid small little thing. Hammock manufacturers, put zipper poles on your zippers.
Yeah, or we could like spend 2 minutes and just put our own on there.
Yeah, but it's like, just put them on there. Everybody wants zipper poles, all right? It's like it's a nonpartisan issue. Yeah, everybody wants zipper poles.
I added them to the Blackbird.
I know,
too.
we put them on the Blackbird.
It's just like weird.
The Dutchware came with them. Props to that.
Yeah, it's like the zipper is very nice on the Darien, but you gotta like find the little zipper.
You gotta like pick it. If you have big fingers, you gotta find it. So it's not a big deal. I don't think that's a huge con because it takes 2 minutes to put them on yourself. But put some zipper poles. I don't know. Why don't people put zipper poles on? It's weird.
Wait, man.
I guess you gotta save that gram. Now, one thing that it certainly made a big difference when I was in Dolly Sods in the winter is I really missed having pack hooks on a hammock. Now, you can get this hammock with pack hooks on it, so I'm not holding that against the hammock as a con. Pack hooks, especially in the winter.
Let's just blame it on your wife.
Yeah, blame my wife. Flame her in the comments. Pack hooks, especially in the winter, and it's really only a bigger deal in the winter. Pack hooks they hold the underquilt in place so much better, and in the winter, when cold air is coming in there, it made a huge difference. In Dolly Sods, I had serious issues not having pack hooks on my hammock. So if I were to get this hammock again, I think it's like $10. Just get the pack hooks on there.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
We've been spoiled with them.
We've been spoiled with them. They come standard on the Chameleon. But just, yeah, the little thing, just get pack hooks on the Darien if you do decide to get it. Another different thing about this hammock compared to other hammocks is the tie outs. They're a little wider on each side. I'm not gonna say it's a con. I don't necessarily think it's a con.
And they're more centered on each side.
Yeah, yeah, they're closer to the center of the hammock and they're wider. And I don't know if it makes a practical difference. I think we would both prefer them more towards the ends of the hammock, but that's just kind of what we're used to.
Well, it helps keep the fabric pulled up a little bit better, I think. But like I said, I'm not the person that should be reviewing it. Like, have you noticed like the fabric coming in on your head or your feet?
No, not really. I mean, the thing about the wide is there's so much fabric. You're gonna get fabric on you probably eventually. It's just, if you're not a wide person, you're sleeping in a wide, you're gonna have a lot of fabric on you. But I don't know if that's a con, but
it's a difference.
It's a difference. The zipper, the tie outs are a little bit different. They're a little centered, a little bit wider on this hammock. Not a huge difference, but I think Andy and I both prefer them to be a little bit more towards the end.
Yeah, I like in an asymmetrical hammock to really just pull out the 2 points, but again, I don't really know if this is a con.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a con, just a difference.
So, I mean,
it's Q&A time.
Q&A time. This is a hard question, and I already know how I would answer it, but do you think, like, are you gonna like shelf one or the Chameleon or the Darien and just go with one from now on?
So we're getting ready to do some more winter backpacking. Certainly the Chameleon I have is much more suited to winter backpacking because I have a top cover for it, because it has pack hooks. It's just, it's warmer than the kind of Darien I have. So in the winter, I'm probably always gonna use the Chameleon over the Darien. In the summer, when I don't care if my underquilt is up against me as much, and I don't care on those overnights about getting in on both sides, and I don't care about weight, I'm probably gonna take the Darien. And I did last summer. At least August, September, I took the Darien constantly because it's warm. I don't care about having the underquilt up against me as much. And I like the ability to sleep on my side very comfortably if I want to. So the Darien is definitely better at side sleeping, I think. So to answer your question, it just depends on the kind of trip. Longer distance trips, I'm probably gonna go take the Chameleon just for weight. But if weight's not an issue and temperature's not an issue, I'm gonna use the Darien.
There's not as many like accessories made specifically by Dream Hammock for like storage options inside of the Darien. And like with the Chameleons, we love the peak lofts, you love the sidecar.
Yeah, I did miss that.
Has this been an issue?
So I was smart enough to realize I need some sort of internal storage in a hammock. So I got the Ridgeline organizer from Dream Hammock, which I do really like. It got the job done in Colorado, but I vastly prefer the peak shelf in the Chameleon. Now, Dream Hammock makes like a peak bag.
Yeah, I mean, there are options.
There are options there. So I think, you know, maybe look at one of those, but the Ridgeline organizer was good. I mean, it got me through a week in Colorado. Now, granted, it was summer. I didn't need to keep as much stuff in my hammock, so it wasn't that big deal, but I did miss the peak shelf. Obviously, I missed my sidecar. But the Ridgeline organizer did the job. Like the pack hooks, if you're getting this hammock or you're getting a hammock in general, get a Ridgeline organizer, get something. You want something up in there. I don't know, I do at least.
Yeah. Okay, so let's say you didn't get this hammock for your birthday. Your wife didn't pick it all out for you, and you were gonna buy the Darien. Just, you know, what would you want in your base model?
Pack hooks, certainly.
Pack hooks.
Some sort of internal storage. I honestly, if I was building this hammock and I had never slept in a wide, I wouldn't have gotten the wide.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have. So I would have gotten a regular with pack hooks. I like the blue. I like the blue a lot. I like the Robic fabric a lot. Wouldn't change that. I like the bug net he put on it. That's something I didn't talk about as a pro, but I really do like the bug net. So the biggest thing if I was building this myself would be pack hooks and a regular width, but that's because I wouldn't have known any better.
Yeah.
If I was building another one, I would definitely get the wide.
So credit to your wife to exposing you to new types of hammocks.
Yeah, except
wide hammocks.
she didn't buy it because it was wide. She bought it because it was in stock and it just happened to be wide. So she lucked out on that one. So that's it. It's a quick topical review of the Dream Hammock Darien. Great hammock. Can't go wrong with Dream Hammock. I would recommend this to people who want a high degree of customization in your hammock. And that's the biggest pro to this hammock is just the high degree of customization, I think.
Also, Dream Hammock is just a fantastic company.
It's a good company. Yeah, it's a really good company.
They do so much to support the hammock community.
Yeah, props to them.
Yeah, and so, you know, when you're, think with your wallet here, folks.
Yeah.
when you're buying that new gear, think about who supports the community and the hobbies that you're involved with.
Yeah. So, thank you all for watching. Go grab yourself a Dream Hammock if you feel like it, and we'll see everybody on the next one.